Today it's time for all 20 Premier League teams' best players so far. Obviously, me and Callum done our Premier League table predictions back in September, and that was really fun to make. We need more content like this, people, so please tell me what you'd like to see in the comments down below. Anyway, let's start and do this in alphabetical order. First up, we have Arsenal, and I've gone for a defender who scored on his debut against Fulham. Yes, Brazilian defender Gabriel is actually just 22. This is his first season in England, so it's a massive big step up for him. But he's handled the pressure well so far, and when Arsenal have needed strength or just a player to shine through for what has been a pretty tough start for them this season, Gabriel has came out of nowhere and has shined through beautifully through Sideshow Bob's hair. We now have Aston Villa. This man has scored 6 goals so far for Villa. It's also his first season in the Prem too. He's still quite young, yet he's put goals behind Arsenal in the league this season and Man United in a friendly. Plus, he's also scored a hat-trick against the Premier League champions Liverpool. Of course, he's the championship GOAT, Ollie Watkins. No Grealish, despite how well he has played so far this season, but I've tried to mix it up a little here and throw Ollie Watkins in with the nomination there, and I think he has thoroughly deserved it. Despite their poor start to the season so far, it's no doubt that Lamberty has shined through against the rest for Brighton. With a goal and 2 assists so far, it's already looking like Chelsea have just gave away a youngster with a lot of talent. Wonder how many times I've said that in the past now. He's also got a 60% tackle success rate so far this season, and we're not calling him the GOAT here, Brighton, but his crossing accuracy this season is currently better than Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold. With Lamberty having a 35% crossing accuracy, and Trent Alexander-Arnold currently on 24%. I'm sure clubs have already got their eye on for the young lad in the next summer transfer window. Next up, we have Burnley. And the only greatest player I can think of so far is bloody Boris Johnson for not letting the fans back in. Jesus Christ, how many more 0-0 games do you want? However, despite all this gloom and doom for Burnley, there is one player that has caught my eye this season so far, and that is Mr. James Tarkowski. It's just 2 clean sheets in 5 for the English defender so far. But what I like about him is the passion he shows for this team. He's been a real underrated defender so far this season and for quite a few seasons now in the Premier League. It's time for Chelsea now, and me and Callum said in our Premier League predictions back in September that big man Timo Werner would hit the ground running when he would join the Blues. And he certainly has so far, scoring 4 goals in 8 and hitting the woodwork 3 times so far. He, for me, is the main man for Chelsea at this moment in time. Some will say Ben Chilwell has done so far, and I have to agree with you completely. But I definitely don't think we've seen the end of Timo Werner just yet. For me, he's only getting started as well. And at the end of the day, if Chelsea want European football next season, then they need goals. If you don't think Zaha is Crystal Palace's best player so far this season, then something is seriously wrong with you. The lad has 5 goals in 8 with 2 assists right now. And despite him being a showboating and arrogant, he's tearing teams apart right now and doing so well for Crystal Palace. Moving on, and this player has been class for Everton and Mr. Carlo Ancelotti so far this season. He's actually joint top goal scorer in the league, and he's served me up some juicy fantasy football points. Of course, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's also really impressed me in an England shirt too. Now, in the Premier League predictor, I said this could be his make or break season so far where he can really shine through, and he certainly has so far. He's scoring them off his right foot for fun and heading them into the back of the net too. He's still fairly young at 23 years of age, so he's only going to get better as well. And if you've got players like James Rodriguez and Bernard playing alongside him as well, then there's only going to be more goals for DCL this season. It's now time for our first newly promoted side to the Premier League this season, and that is Fulham. It's been a shaky start for Scott Parker so far this season, but one man who has really shined through and got that little bit of Premier League experience under his belt is the Serbian striker Aleksandar Mitrovic. Up to now, he's scored 2 goals this season, and he's also got 2 assists for his name so far. There's no doubt that he's got a real eye for the goal this season. He could have also had a lot more too, but where he's playing with players who are still getting used to playing in top flight football and a manager who's still getting used to managing in any flight of football, you've got to say he's done fairly well. I'm sure he's a good role model for the youngsters as well. and hopefully he can start practicing some penalties with them in training as well. Leeds United now, and one player that has silenced the haters so far is Patrick Bamford. Out of nowhere, he's come strong for Bielsa. He scored 7 goals in 8 and also has 1 assist to his name in the season so far. He's been a player for me who has one of the best finishes this season. He also could have scored a hell of a lot more goals for the club too. I'm hoping for the lad that he can only continue scoring because some of the goals that he's getting at these ridiculous angles are unbelievable. We move on to the Foxes now, and I haven't actually gone for Jamie Vardy. I've gone for a man who arrived from Atlanta in the summer. Yes, Timothy Castagni has really made a solid start to life in the Premier League. He scored a goal this season and also has 2 assists for Brendan Rodgers' side, and he's only played 6 games as well. Oh, and he's also a left back. Bruh. But he's a unique left back who likes to attack more than defend, and he can quickly get down these wide areas of the pitch and cross the ball into the middle for Jamie Vardy to head it into the back of the net. In the 6 games that he's played so far this season as well, he's also got 2 clean sheets. Personally, I think Brendan has a real great player under his wing there, and a player who can actually help Jamie Vardy score even more goals this season. Because we've got Salah. For the current Premier League champions, an obvious best player so far right now has to be Mohamed Salah. He scored 8 in 8 for the mighty Reds in this 2020-21 season. He's made 34 shots in the league right now and only 4 shots behind Harry Kane, who's at the top. Liverpool, for me, haven't really had many players to contend with Mohamed Salah for the Premier League best player so far for Liverpool. And I think that's just down to fitness and injuries. Obviously, Alisson has been out injured. Van Dijk has that horrible, nasty ACL injury. Thiago is out injured too. And we saw how great Thiago Alcantara really is in his debut against Chelsea. Despite this though, right now it is Salah for me, who is Liverpool's best Premier League player so far this season. For Pep's Man City, I've gone with the Belgian beast, KDB. So far, not many City players have lived up to their name, but the one that shines out for me has to be Kevin De Bruyne. He's absolutely brilliant in every season that he plays in this league, and he was a little unlucky not to score in the Liverpool game recently, but before that game he had picked up a goal and 3 assists in the 6 games that he's played. But his shooting ability this season is absolutely nuts, and we all knew it would be. I'm also happy to say that I think he's the best midfielder in the world right now. And that's a big statement. We'll just ignore the fact that it's getting dark at 3 PM on a Friday. Anyway, a man like Bruno is up next for United. A real poor start for the Red Devils, but you have to say Bruno Fernandes has been bloody class this season. He's already scored 5 goals and has 3 assists. Bruno won't stop there. I think he's in great form at the moment for United, and I can definitely either see him keep scoring goals or play these nice balls over to Rashford, which will only see his assist tally increase. Like City, there aren't really a lot of players that deserve to be the best player for this club so far. Fernandes, for me, has actually been too good for United, I think. I swear he could even play up front. His eye for goal is unreal. Keep smashing it, Bruno, lad. Next, we have Newcastle. Oh, Jesus. Now, I do really want to pick Callum Wilson, and I tell you what, he is definitely second on my list with the 6 goals that he's picked up in the Premier League campaign so far. But a player who's been a bit of a dark horse in the league at the moment is Federico Fernandes. He's been absolutely solid for the Magpies right now. He's also in a team that needs strength in that back right now, especially with Dubravka out with a heel injury. One who stepped up is this Argentinian defender, Fernandes. He does only have 1 clean sheet so far, but he has a 70% tackle succession rate and has made 44 clearance in the league so far. That's actually the most in the league right now. Newcastle are definitely going through this patch of conceding goals right now, but I think they'll definitely take 13th in the league right now. And I think one man to thank for this is Federico Fernandes. We now have Sheffield United, and this one's a bit difficult to pick because they've had a real poor start to the season. But a man who's played quite well for the Blades is Sander Berg. What I like about Berg is his work rate. He can run up the field and attack and test the opposition's goalkeeper, or even put a cross in and let someone else test the keeper, but then he can run down the other end of the field and attend to his defensive duties and put a block in to stop the opposition from scoring. I think McBurney and Ampadu are playing really well too, and they're definitely up there for a tie second. But for me, Berg wins this one, and And this is because he's just added so much more strength in this Sheffield United team that clearly, definitely need it this season. For the Saints, I've gone with their player of the season, Danny Ings. A lot of doubt, actually, whether he'd be continue scoring goals this season. Obviously, he was amazing last season, but he simply just proved the doubters wrong and scored 5 goals in the 7 games that he's played in so far for the Saints. He also has 2 assists. This was a real tough choice as well between Ings and young Shane Adams, but I've gone for Ings purely because he's still smashing it in for Southampton Football Club, and yeah, proved the doubt was wrong completely. Tottenham now, and yeah, if you choose anyone other than Harry Kane, then just get out. Walk down the door. It has to be the main English striker, as he's come back this season and he has smashed it. I think he saw the Gareth Bale headlines and tore them apart with his bare hands. Let's hope that's the only thing he tears this season. LOL! But no, the man has 7 goals and 8 assists so far this season. He also has the most amount of shots in the league, and he's also hit the woodwork twice this season too. I think he's been unlucky to not see these 7 goals be 10 or 11. In my point of view, he's the best player in the league right now, not just for Tottenham, but in the whole Premier League. Dare I say even the world. To also see a Bale alongside him too, well, we must be seeing more goals now, and Spurs will need it if they're going to continue this title race. Time for our final newly promoted side, being West Bromwich Albion, and a player who's got proven quality for this Premier League is Matheus Pereira. He scored a crazy free kick against Everton earlier in the season, and now has 2 assists to his name as well. I think if West Brom had a proven Premier League striker as well, then I think we'd be seeing Matheus Pereira's attacking support in much more greater detail. But with a tough start for West Brom, it's definitely got to be Pereira for me. Now time for West Ham United, who have, really surprised me so far this season. For me, we're going to go in London. We're going to go to West Ham. Now, West Ham. But a player who's been fully resurrected is Aaron Cresswell. The man is 30 years of age right now, but this season he's been great in the defence as well as the attack, and I don't think I've said that since 2016 when West Ham had Dimitri Payet. He's made 3 clean sheets this season in that defence and also has 3 assists too. Pablo Fornals and Fabianski have definitely been up there for me. But with how poor Cresswell was last season and how amazing he's been so far this season, it has to be only Aaron Cresswell who wins this for West Ham. Finally, we have Wolverhampton Wanderers, and with how awful these Premier League defences have been this season, only means you have to choose Connor Cody. He's been a real true leader for Wolves, and he's earned himself an England call-up to the senior squad too. 4 clean sheets in 8 has actually been the best in the league so far, joint with Palace and Villa. What I like about Cody are these long balls that he's creating. He is so strong in that defence, but he's also adding this surprising attacking support to the team. He's been great, making 57 accurate long balls in the 8 games that he's played in. I could have easily went with Jimenez here or even Kilman, but there's only one Connor Cody. There's only one Connor Cody. One Connor Cody. There's only one Connor Cody. LOL. So that's all 20 teams' best player so far in the Premier League this season done. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. It would be hugely appreciated. And if you'd like to see more football content, then please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel down below. It would absolutely mean the world to me. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you all have a great day. Burnley.